Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Welcome to my February TBR video. As always, we're going to be picking my TBR using the TBR jar. We're going to be picking prompts from the jar. Also, I'm going to try something new and I'm going to sprinkle in a couple books that I would like to read that month that are not necessarily picked with the TBR jar. So sometimes I have some books that I know I want to read that month. For example, new releases, series that I want to continue, books that I know I want on my TBR that month, I will include in the video as well. So we're going to be doing our 7 prompts, picking 7 books, and then I'll include whatever books that I want to share for that month. This month I have a couple because there's a lot of new releases and I need to get to those books soon. But we can leave those for the end after we do our prompts. So I have my TBR cart and I have the list of books that I mentioned I want to read this month. So if I can match one of the prompts to one of the books on this list, I'll include it, even if I don't have a physical copy. And whichever book on this little list does not get picked with a prompt, I would just mention at the end because they're books that I want to read that month anyway. So I think let's just get started and start with our first prompt. Okay. Prompt number 1 is a book that is a part of a series. Okay. I'm gonna look at my little list. I have one that is a part of a series. And then there's a couple options, actually. Should I go with the one on the list? Taming 7. But this book is actually here in representation of Redeeming 6. Because this is book 5. I still need to read book 4. I think I'm gonna go with this one. So technically Redeeming 6. I don't have the physical copy, it would be on my Kindle. Or I could do Beating Heart by Laura Pavlov. This is the, what is the series called? Something River? No. This is the Magnolia Falls series. This is book 4. I could do this. I'm gonna go ahead and do Redeeming 6. This is Taming 7, but this is in representation of Redeeming 6. Let's do that for prompt number 1. Prompt number 2. A popular author's first book. Okay, I don't have any. A popular author's first book. Wait. This is a popular author. The Assassin's Blade. What was her first book? Okay, I did some research. Some of the popular authors that I have on here are Sarah Adams, Lynn Painter, and Sarah J. Maas. I feel like those are the most popular, and I looked up her first book, and her first book was Throne of Glass, which is on my TBR. It's just not on my TBR cart. It's right here, and it's the only one that matches. So I didn't think I would be reading this series this soon, but is February the month that I finally read it? Maybe. I'm gonna have to go with this. It's just the prompt said, so we're gonna go with this. This is gonna be prompt 2, a popular author's first book. Now for prompt number 3, let me shake it up. A book with a 1-word title. We have Breakaway. We have these, Foxglove and Wisteria, but the first book, it's not on here. Let me get it, but I haven't read it. Okay, I'm gonna go with Belladonna, and it is actually a book that I've been wanting to get to. 1-word title. I'm gonna go with this one. Okay, prompt number 4, a book that scares you. That would have been Throne of Glass. I should have saved Throne of Glass, but it just fit the prompt really well. None of these scare me, actually. Maybe one from my list. I don't know. This one's kind of hard because the only series that was kind of intimidating at the time was either like Iron Flame, Onyx Storm, which I already read and currently reading, and Throne of Glass, but I already picked it. And nothing else really scares me right now. So I think the closest one, the one that I'm kind of nervous for, is one on my list, which is Rebel Witch. It is part of the Crimson Moth series, so it's book 2, the book after Heartless Hunter, which I read that series. I think it was last year. Was it? I don't even know. Very good. It's a fantasy series. I want to read that, and I'm kind of scared of what's gonna happen because it is a fantasy book, and usually fantasy books scare me because they usually always have like a plot twist or a cliffhanger and you just need the next book. So that is going to be the book for prompt number 4, a book that scares me, Rebel Witch. Let's go on to prompt number 5, a book with magical elements. Magical elements, I don't want to choose a series that I already have on here, so I'm not going to pick like Foxglove or Wisteria. I'm not going to pick The Assassin's Blade. Maybe Dance of Thieves. I'm guessing this has magical elements. Oopsie, am I folding my book? I was indeed folding my book. Let's ask Google. Does Dance of Thieves have magical elements? Yes, Dance of Thieves by Mary E. Pearson includes magical elements. This book is set in a fantasy world and features a character with a magical gift. There you go. We're picking Dance of Thieves for a book with magical elements. So this is book 5. A lot of fantasy so far. We need some fluffy romance. A book you meant to read last year. Okay. One that I knew I wanted to read last year was Butcher and Blackbird, and I wanted to read this back in October during like the spooky season, just because it's like a serial killer romance. So I think I'm gonna go with this. I've been wanting to read this for a while, and I think it would be fun, right? I think it would be interesting. So I think I'm gonna add this for prompt number 6, a book that I meant to read last year. Okay, now for our last prompt, and then we'll move on to the books on my list. Last prompt for today, or for this month. A book set in high school. I already know what I'm picking. I think this is in high school. Wait, I don't think this is set in high school. Is it? I feel like that's the only one that could match. Maybe Yours Unexpectedly? This might be a college romance. Yep. Let's go do some research again. So I just looked it up, and Betting on You by Lynn Painter is set in high school. It's a high school romance novel. This story follows Bailey, a high school senior who is dealing with the aftermath of her parents' divorce. So it's gonna be my book for a book set in high school. These are all the books picked by the TBR Jar. Now I'm gonna read the books on my list. Books that I wanna read this month, if I can get to them. All new releases. 2 of them released already, and 2 of them are gonna release next month. So I have Out of the Woods by Hannah Bonham Young. I wanna read this book so bad. It's just, I love Hannah Bonham Young. I haven't read all of her books, but I love the premise of Out of the Woods. I believe they're in a relationship, but they're kind of struggling, and they kind of have to rekindle their love. And I love books like that, where it's like kind of second chance romance, but already in a relationship, or like fixing a relationship. Books that I've read that are that trope, I've loved. So I really want to read that book. Then we have Deepened by Ali Hazelwood. I am so excited for that book. I've read every single Ali Hazelwood book, and I'm just dying for the next one, which happens to be Deepened. I cannot wait to read that book. I need it today if possible. Like, I would do anything to get an early copy. I didn't get an early copy, so I'm dying for that day to come. It comes out February 4th. I'm gonna be set. Last but not least, I have First Time Caller by B.K. Borson, and I need that book as well. I need it badly. I feel like that book is gonna change me. I feel like I'm gonna love it. For some reason, I have a feeling that I'm gonna love it already. I don't know how. Don't ask me how, but I feel like I will love it. So those are the 3 books, because one of them is on the TBR already. 3 books that I want to read this month along with my TBR. Again, we have Betting on You by Lynn Painter, Butcher and Blackbird, Dance of Thieves, Belladonna, Throne of Glass, and Redeeming 6. Again, this is Taming 7. We're pretending it's Redeeming 6. And also Rebel Witch. So we have a lot of fantasy this month. We have Rebel Witch, Throne of Glass, Dance of Thieves, Belladonna. 4 fantasy, 2 romances, and 3. Is this a dark romance or just a romance? I don't know. But yeah, that is what we have this month. Actually, I feel like we have a really good stack going on here. I feel like we have a lot of good options, a lot of potential 5-star reads. Side note, for those of you that have read the Throne of Glass series, a reason why this book intimidates me, or this series intimidates me, is because I don't know what reading order to do. Let me know in the comments what reading order you did. I think I was thinking of reading Throne of Glass first and reading The Assassin's Blade third. A lot of people say to read it first, but I don't know. As someone who hasn't read it, I really couldn't choose. So if you've read it, let me know. Would you recommend reading Assassin's Blade first, third, or another order? I don't know what they are. This is the TBR stack for this month. That is it for this video. Thank you guys so much for watching. Thank you for choosing my TBR for February with me. Let me know if you've read any of these or plan on reading any of these. That's it for this video. I'll see you guys next time. Bye!